Welcome back to Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition. We're playing Cult of Sentinel Hill. And we have a goat spawn we're dealing with at the moment. We have Ashcan Pete, and we have Mandy Thompson with her 45s. Okay, and Mandy right now is focused. Ashcan has 2 physical damage face down, 1 horror face down. Mandy has 1 physical damage face down, and 1 horror face down, and she also has 6 clue tokens, while Ashcan Pete has none. Alright, let's continue on. I think we're going to start again with Ashcan Pete. And I think his first action, I think he's going to attack the goat spawn with his trusty knife. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that attack on the goat spawn. And we're going to use the bladed weapon. So the app says your foe catches your stab and you struggle to push the blade the final few inches while the figure struggles to turn the blade on you. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Strength, and we need 2 successes. Well, Ashcan's strength, as we know, is 4. So he's going to be rolling 4 dice, and I don't think he has anything else that's going to help him there. No, he doesn't. So 4 dice, we're looking for 2 successes, but he has no clue tokens. Holy man, and he gets absolutely nothing. If you fail, the figure twists your wrist and manages to jab you with your own weapon. Suffer 1 face-down damage. Well, that's what's going to happen to Ashcan, so he's going to have 3 now face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Alright, I'm going to change my battery, and I think Ashcan is going to try another attack because that one failed so miserably. Alright, Ashcan, going to try it again. Maybe if he faces the goat spawn, he might have better luck. He's attacking once more. I wonder, though... You know what? Let's change weapons. The knife is not working for him. He's going to go ahead and use the torch. It's a heavy weapon. Okay. Let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to use a heavy weapon. We're using the torch this time. So attack with a heavy weapon. Your muscles tense as you throw your weight into your swing. We need 2 successes on strength. Come on, Ashcan. He gets 2 successes, doesn't have clue tokens, but 2 is what he needed. If you pass, the impact hurls your foe aside. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. Then move the monster 1 space. If you fail, your enemy narrowly dodges your swing. Well, our torch had better luck. It has a weapon damage of 1 plus 2 successes. The goat spawn's going to take 3 damage. And it's going to get... Ashcan pounds the goat spawn right out the door and knocks it flying. That's Ashcan's 2 actions. Up next is Mandy. Now, Mandy... I think Mandy wants to get everyone outside. And so she's going to do... For her first action, she's going to do a push action. She's going to shove Ashcan outside. We're going to pursue the goat spawn, and then she's going to follow. So that's her first action. Her second action is to draw her revolver, and she's going to... Oh, or is she? I wonder if that's the best thing for her to do. I think, no, she's not going to do that. Let's take that back, because she's going to attack... Oh, we can't attack through doors. Never mind. She is going to push Ashcan out here. And now she's going to draw her revolver, her 45, and see what she can do, her firearm. Alright, she's going to attack the goat spawn with her firearm. And what happens? You lever your weapon and open fire, filling the air with lead. Agility, and she needs 2 successes. She has an agility value of 3, but she has 6 clue tokens. So come on, we need 2 successes. 2 successes in any variation. She gets 1 success and 1 clue token, which she's going to spend 1 of her clue tokens to turn it into a success. That gives her the necessary 2 successes. If you pass, some of your shots catch your enemy in the shoulder and it whirls around, falling to its knees. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage. Wow. So she just pummels it full of lead, doing 4 damage. These 45s are awesome. The goat spawn is no more. It has been riddled with bullets and taken out of the picture. And it says the abomination collapses into a black puddle of ooze, and its stench somehow becomes even more acrid. The death of this creature reminds you of the guard in the dungeon. Gathering a sample of this black substance could shed more light on the old Watley's experiments. Place the circumstantial evidence unique item in the goat spawn's space. Well, that was her 2 actions, so she's not going to be able to pick anything up. So we have to find circumstantial evidence, and here it is. And we're going to drop that into this space. So we're going to have to examine the goat spawn's remains to get a clue of evidence as to what is going on. That is going to conclude our investigator turn. And so up next will be the Mythos phase. All right, up next, the Mythos phase. And I don't know what's going to happen, what's happening. This Mythos event affects the investigator in an outdoor space with the highest observation. And if we look at her observation, Mandy has a 5 and Ashcan Pete has a 4. So Mandy, the researcher, or not Mandy, Amanda, the researcher, has the highest observation. So this is going to affect her. It says, in the wan starlight, you see the trees part, splintering and bowing away from nothing. There is nothing there. Suffer 3 face-down horror. Willpower +1 negates. Oh man, that's brutal. Okay, so she has to use her willpower, and her willpower is 3, so that's not stellar, but she gets +1, so it's willpower +1 negates. 3 face down horror, she gets to roll 4 dice, and let's see what she can get. Well, she gets 2 clue tokens, so I think she's going to spend 2 of her 5 clue tokens and turn those into successes, so then she will only suffer 1 face down horror, and that's better than taking 3 face down horror. So she's going to take a face down horror. She now has 2 of them, but she does have the most sanity. Now she has 3 clue tokens left, and she could have used focused. You may discard this card to convert all. I think she's going to use focused instead. That was a silly use of her 2 clue tokens. So she's going to take the 2 clue tokens back, and she's going to use her focused ability to turn those glasses into successes. So she is no longer focused, but that's good. So that was the Mythos phase. It's back to the investigator phase. So let me do a bit of thinking here as to what we're going to do, and we'll come back with the next investigator turn. All right, so let's see, what are we going to do? I think we're going to have Mandy. I keep calling her Mandy, sorry, Amanda Thompson is going to take her first action, and she's going to pick up, investigate, and get the circumstantial evidence. So that I'm sure will help us in the later activities. All right, up next will be a second action for Mandy. She can move 2 spaces, and I think, being the investigative type person that she is, what does she want to do? She either wants to go move towards the birch tree or go to the Scarecrow. I think she's just going to go over here and get in position to look at that maple tree that has the strange carving in it at a later turn. So that was Mandy's turn. She has done her 2 actions. Up next, Ashcan Pete. Now Ashcan Pete is interested in that Scarecrow. Now, he's going to take his first action to move, so he's going to move 1, 2 spaces over to the fallen down Scarecrow. And it says, this field might have once held crops, but now the rotted Scarecrow is face down in overgrown weeds. A circle of whippoorwills circling overhead look hungry. Well, we're going to go ahead and use his second action to search. And we're going to search. It says, the wide-eyed birds dive at you while you try to free what looks like a useful tool from beneath the Scarecrow. So we're going to make an agility test, and we're just going to put in the number of successes. And once again, Ashcan Pete, pretty agile. He has an agility of 4, so he will be rolling 4 dice. And we're going to see just how many successes he can get on 4 dice. And he gets 1. Oh, great. And 2 of the other symbols there, the magnifying glass, but he has no clue token. So we're going to put 1 success into the app, and we're going to confirm it. The birds attacking your eyes and hands drive you back for now. Well, this is going to remain there, I think. Continue. Yeah, he was unable, because of those nasty birds, to be able to do anything. All right, that concludes the investigator's turn. And we're going to move right into the Mythos phase, which I'm sure will be delightful. Mythos phase happening right now. Mandy Thompson's tongue starts to engorge, quickly growing too large for her mouth. Huh? Only by clamping down hard does the swelling halt and start to go down again. Mandy Thompson suffers 1 face down damage and 2 horror. Strength +1 negates. Well, this is bad for Mandy because her strength is 2. So that's not good. So she's going to have a 2 + 1. And this is going to negate, so she gets 1 face down damage and 2 horror. Come on, let's get 3 successes and not have to worry about this at all. And she gets 1 success. And that's not good. So she has a decision to make. She can take 1 face down damage and 1 face up horror, or she could take 2 face up horrors and no damage. I think she's going to take the 1 face down damage. So we're going to do that. She's got 2 face down damage. But she will need to take a horror face up. And I don't think she has anything that she can use. No, nothing she has is going to stop this. So she takes a face up horror. And I will mispronounce this horribly. Acalculia? Acalculia. Okay. You cannot seem to put the letters or numbers in their proper order. You know you had the skill once, but it has deserted you. Keep face up. Roll 1 fewer die while resolving lore tests. Wow, that sucks. Okay, but that's what it is. So she has that problem, which I have to remember. So I will have to try and keep track of all these things. And as the game progresses, of course, things will get more and more complicated. All right, so I think that is going to conclude the Mythos phase. We're back to the investigator phase, and I have a funny feeling that yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to do one more turn. We're going to start with Mandy. Mandy's right here at the strange tree. So for her first action, it says the bark of this maple has been carved to convey some meaning, but the symbols do not look familiar. She's going to do a search action. The carving is reminiscent of an opening door, but while you examine it, your mind is grabbed by some other power. Well, she has to make a will check, and she only has 3 dice for a will check. Oh boy, let's see if Amanda, I've probably been calling her Mandy, I mean Amanda, let's see how many successes she can get. Come on, let's do well. She gets 1, she will convert that one to a success, giving her 2, which I think should be pretty good. We're going to put that into the app. We're going to confirm it. The pattern suddenly makes sense, and you know the carving was meant to unlock human potential. Suffer 1 face down horror and gain the Feed the Mind spell. Then discard this token. Okay, so she gets 1 face down horror, which is not what we want, but it's what we get. So now she has 4 horror. 3 of them face down and 1 is face up. But she gets a Feed the Mind spell. So that's what she gets for looking at the tree. So she gets the Feed the Mind spell, which is, as an action, you or another investigator within range become focused. Then flip this card. All right, I don't know if she wants to do that. She still has an action remaining, so she could move. Oh boy, we don't really want to get separated though, do we? For her second action, I'm going to have to think about it and come back and decide. All right, so Mandy, feeling exploratory here, is going to start coming around this side of the barn in hopes of getting over here. So she's going to use her movement. She's going to go 1, 2 spaces and end her turn there. And of course, up at the top with the Scarecrow, we have Ashcan Pete. So for his first action, he will, it says, the field might once have held crops. Circle of whippoorwills circling overhead look hungry. So the birds are still whipping around. He's going to do the search again. Once more, it says the wide-eyed birds dive at you while you try to free what looks like a useful tool from beneath the Scarecrow. Once again, he's testing agility. he does have 4 dice. Now with 4 dice, let's see what he can get for agility. We're just going to add that into the app. So come on. And he gets 1 again. He has no clue tokens. This is terrible. 1. Maybe we'll get a different thing this time. All right, let's see what it says. All right, well, it says, using 1 arm to wave the screaming whippoorwills away, you pull a heavy pickaxe from beneath the straw-stuffed guard. Gain the pickaxe common item, then discard the search token. So once again, Ashcan only gets 1 success, but he is able to pull it off the second time. So I guess the game is forgiving enough that even if you get 1 success and fail the first time, if you get 1 success the second time, must be a cumulative thing. I'm not really sure how it works. Anyway, Ashcan gets the pickaxe. It's a heavy weapon again, doing a lot more damage than his torch. So that's pretty cool. So he's going to collect that. That's a really good weapon now for him to have. That was, of course, his first action. And for his second action, I think he's going to go ahead and join Mandy. I don't know who I'm calling who. Her name is Mandy Thompson. I keep calling her Amanda. Amanda Sharp was the other one. Too many Arkham Horror games. So 1, 2. For his last action, he's moving here with Mandy Thompson, who is commonly referred to as Amanda when I do playthroughs because I get it wrong. So now they're both in the same location. They've both finished off. Oh, and this, of course, token goes away because it has been investigated, and he got the pickaxe out of it. They have both had their 2 actions. It is time now to go to the final Mythos phase for this episode, and here it comes. The Mythos event affects the investigator with the most evidence. Well, who has the most evidence? So far, Ashcan Pete has forensic evidence, and Mandy Thompson has circumstantial evidence. So they both have 1. And so how do we do a roll? Well, let's just do a roll off. We're going to say Ashcan Pete is 1 to 3, and Mandy Thompson is 4, 5, 6. So 5. Mandy is the recipient of this one. So let's see what happens. And it says, as the pieces fall into place, you start to understand that old Whatley has made a beast of enormous power and has yet to perfect its presence in this world. As if thinking about it called its attention to you, a great invisible limb bowls you over onto the ground. Suffer 1 damage and 1 horror. Oh, this is bad. And lore negates. Well, unfortunately for, of course, we pick Mandy. Mandy has this, which is roll 1 fewer die while resolving a lore test. So that, she was the wrong one to pick. However, Ashcan's lore is 3. Mandy's lore is 4. So Mandy's going to roll 3 dice to try and negate 1 damage and 1 horror. Oh, great. Let's see what she gets. 2 successes. Perfect. So she does not suffer any damage or any horror. So the big limb from nowhere tries to smack her down into the ground and hurt her mentally and physically, but doesn't do it. And on we go back to the next investigator phase. So I'm going to leave this episode off here. And so we've investigated everything we need to. I feel like time might be running out, but I kind of want to see what's going on down here and over here. We've got to, of course, get into the barn at some point and stop Whatley, but I don't know. So this is Sentinel Hill, Cult of Sentinel Hill. We're trying to find out what old Whatley is up to and put an end and a stop to it while before time runs out, of course. And so we are playing with Mandy Thompson, the researcher, Ashcan Pete, the drifter, with his guitar and his faithful companion Duke. And this is Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. So thanks for watching along. Thanks for subscribing, liking my videos, leaving comments. I really appreciate it. So join me next time for the continuation of Cult of Sentinel Hill.